I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for happy hour. It's the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I am Matt Fox.
And,
Hi,
it's we're coming to you live from the Man Cave suite of the Podcast Your Voice
Studios.
Yeah. It's I love the Man Cave suite. The
Yes.
ever changing and evolving Man Cave suite.
It's always, things are always falling down and always going back
It's always
up.
coming.
It's coming and going.
If you see me getting high, knock me down. So we're having a good one here.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, ever changing, ever evolving. And it kind of ties into what we're going to be talking about today, how things are ever changing and ever evolving.
Okay.
Lists and best of lists, right? And they come out with a fall shopping guide and the spring shopping guide, Whiskey Advocate.
Okay.
And the whiskeys change. It's ever evolving.
Yes, what codes whiskeys are ever changing in the barrels.
And they are, yeah. So we're actually going to talk about Whiskey Advocate. We're going to rely on our friends over at Whiskey Advocate.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about their fall shopping guide for 2021. Depends on when you're listening to this. So in the fall of 2021, this is what Whiskey Advocate is advocating for.
All right.
Talking about that. So, and a bottle that we picked up from our friend Joe over at Keiko's.
Mr.
Joe,
Keiko's.
Yeah, when I was talking to him, I told him I picked up a bottle of Bullet from him a little while back, a special barrel pick that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll go for like 15 minutes on it. And I said, Joe, I'm still sitting on that bottle of Bullet. He's like, I really haven't cracked it yet. He goes, people are dying for that. He goes, because it's sold out like mad fast. And he goes, people would pay you for that. And I'm like, really? You got some names? I'll flip that bad boy. I don't know. I go, but he was kind enough. He was out, and he was like, wait a minute. He pulled one up, put it on the counter. He's like, you want it? And I'm like, yeah,
I'll take it.
So yeah, he had a couple in reserve, and there's one on this list that
really?
is
was a Bullet?
No, it's a deal like that.
If
we want one, he was like, I might have one kicking around the back, so we might. If you're intrigued by it, we could do that.
You heard it here first.
But I told Joe that we would. I want to have him on to talk about that Bullet.
Yeah.
And break it down because he's such good people. Him and his brother Giovanni.
You stopped in there for this evening.
Yeah.
And you said, I sent you a message as to what time I was going to get here.
Yeah.
And you said, I got caught up with story time with Joe.
Yeah.
I'm about the same time arrival.
Yeah. I was going to beat you by like a half hour, and then I was like there, and it was like it was story time with Joe and G. So, but good guys and. The great picks, the store, they do great stuff, and they have so many, and not just whiskeys and bourbons. Well, the scotches are whiskeys, but the amazing scotches and the tequilas that they do they do some amazing tequila work.
That Japanese flavored, kind of the bourbon that he did not too long ago with Makers. That was special.
That was gorgeous.
It really was special.
Yeah. But how's tricks, man?
You got tricks?
No, how's your tricks?
My tricks.
You're good. Are you good?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm hanging in there.
All right.
It's just another day, another dollar.
Another day, another $1.95. Holy COVID fourth wave. Is this ever gonna stop? No, because people aren't getting vaccinated. They're not wearing masks.
What have I called
as
this?
we sit here not wearing? It's a new COVIDian timeline.
Yeah, that's what I've been calling this since
it's like
the beginning.
And it's like the Hulk was talking to the little bald woman, and she's like, well, you pull that out, and there's a whole new timeline. They put in the COVID. There's a whole new timeline.
Sounds like
That's
someone's got Marvel in his head. What did you do recently?
I took Sam Nork to the movies.
Did you?
Our adopted internet daughter.
Yeah. What'd you see?
We saw the Eternals.
Okay.
And it was big. Because you had Selma Hayek, because it's like you can't go wrong with Selma Hayek.
Well, and I also had Angelina Jolie.
And then there was Angelina Jolie. And those are two pretty big actresses.
Yes.
And there were some other notable actors.
You had a few guys from Game of Thrones in there.
Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. Shit.
You were just waiting for him to get to a Taco Bell or have a White Castle, And but I just you expected more. I don't know. I just the character. I didn't.
Don't spoil it.
I didn't care.
All right.
It didn't engage. It's like, because I'm watching, and I was kind of kicking myself, and then I'm thinking, I was like, oh well, I'm watching Marvel, and I'm like, oh, I believe Thanos, and willing suspension of disbelief. Okay, there's this person named Thanos, and then there's this crazy skinny tall monkey guy. I don't know what his name is. You know what I'm talking about. Crazy skinny tall monkey priesty guy. And it's like, and I buy into those characters. I didn't buy into these characters, the Eternals, right? And you figured with big actresses like Selma and Angelina, you would have bought into them.
Well, here's the thought, because the Eternals really launches the next phase of the Marvel universe.
Well, it can only get better from here.
Because the TV shows that Disney Plus put out with Loki and the WandaVision and what have you.
And I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, so that kind of really launched Phase 5, but this is the first movie to come out in Phase 5.
Okay,
so it takes a second. If you go all the way back to Iron Man, it took a second for it really to grasp, even though it was as good as of a movie as it was.
But Iron Man was just Robert Downey. That was just his heyday with the Sherlock Holmes,
right?
And then the Iron Man, he was just like could not fail.
Nope.
And then the whole Marvel, and but we go back to not Black Panther, but Blade, right? Is Blade part of the
Marvel universe?
Yes. Blade was actually the first relatively really successful,
correct?
Which launched and led to, okay, let's give this Iron Man thing a try. After
it was an offbeat,
how many failed freaking Spider-Mans were there?
Well, that's the next thing to happen after Eternals is Spider-Man No Way Home. So
and I'm looking forward to that.
And that's gonna mess with the timeline apparently.
Hey, Underoos.
Yeah,
I love when he calls him Underoos.
Underoos.
Hey, Underoos.
Captain, big fan.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we saw the Eternals. We just want to give Sam a shout out, because Sam always helped with all the podcasts, with Animal Talk, and she ran City of Champions a handful of times with us, and the Man Cave. She helped with the Man Cave quite frequently, taking photos and running the board. So, Sam Nork is
she's such good people.
Yeah, she's but she's working. She's got a real job.
She's got a big girl job.
Yeah, she got a big girl job, so she doesn't have time for us.
All right. So speaking of big girls, what do you got in your hands?
Oh, this nice bottle. And we'll get to it. It's on the list. It's a gorgeous packaging. I love the stopper on it. It's just like a
cork,
a medicinal cork. It's kind of fun if anybody's watching. If you're listening to the podcast, you can see it.
It's like a little brown jug, if you will, like a skinny brown jug with a cork on it.
I want to sing in a hobo band with it. Is hobo a
No, we're both hobos with speakers as it is. So.
Really? All right. So it's the Whiskey Advocate magazine and website, and they do buying guides. And these are the top 10 highest scoring whiskeys for the fall of 2021.
So if you're looking to figure out what to get someone for their birthday and or holiday present,
we're on the verge of the holidays.
Here, listen up.
So that's it. So the fall, let me just read to you from the Whiskey Advocate here. 130 whiskey reviews covering range of styles. They focus on bourbon. The buying guide is full of all kinds of cask finish, non-Kentucky, all kinds of things, right? So Whiskey Advocate has reviews on for the fall, has 130 different whiskeys. So if you want to dive into it, but these are the top 10 recommendations.
Top 10, number 10.
I don't know how they go. Are they numbered? I don't know if let me see here. I can't really tell if they're numbered, but the first one, as for high scores, here we go. As for high scores, There's many of those that fall in it. They're earning 93 points or more. If people know the bourbon scales, 93 is a really solid score.
Okay.
For a bourbon. So these are 93 or more.
Just above an A-. Okay.
Right. These do not include the editor's choice best value or collectible collections, but this represents the very best from the whiskey world, including 2 cask strengths Irish whiskeys, age statements ranging anywhere from 6 to 24 years old. A pair of single malt scotches are in this list.
Wow.
They use some homegrown barley in those, and then some familiar names like Barrel, Belveni, Ardbeg, and joined by, like I said, it's an ever-changing list.
Okay, who's it joined by?
What's new? Don't call it a comeback. There's one called Blue Note.
Okay, I've never heard of Blue Note.
It's Blue Note. It's a Tennessee-based brand, and then the one that we'll be diving into today
is
Bib and Tucker.
Bib and Tucker.
Bib and
you know, I saw the Bib and Tucker, and I believe Joe talked about Bib and Tucker.
Joe's been a massive advocate for Bib and Tucker. He likens it to Blanton's.
Yes, he does.
He said this will for the money will rival up your Blanton's on your palates.
Really?
Yeah, and everybody's palate's different. Everybody likes different stuff.
Yeah,
but just kind of proving that Tennessee, the volunteer state there, they can make some high quality bourbons.
They can.
It doesn't have to be Kentucky.
No.
Does it have to be a bourbon? Right.
Hi, it's Mr. Daniels, and you are.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be in the United States.
Yes.
It does not have to be in Kentucky.
Nope.
In order to be a bourbon.
One thing that we did learn on the Man Cave.
That is, we learn a little something. We fumble through knowledge now and again. So it's and there's what they call the Tennessee style whiskey, which generally it's like, well, every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square.
Right.
So like Jack Daniel's, technically
non-chilled filtered,
it could be labeled as a bourbon. It could be sold and labeled and packaged as a bourbon.
It could be
legally, but they do the charcoal filtering on it, and that's their process, and so they call themselves a Tennessee whiskey, and that's just the way to and that's just the way they've been since God was a boy and drinking Jack Daniels.
It was called and it was called
been
whiskey.
around that long.
It was called whiskey
Yeah.
way back in the day.
Right.
I'm not sure when bourbons, but it was called whiskey because of how it was made, and it just stuck, and that's the brand that he decided to stick with.
So here's 10 of the highest scoring whiskeys for fall of 2021. It's a buying guide.
Sure.
Top scores from Whiskey Advocates issue 2021. Barrel strength. Barrel. It's the brand Barrel.
Barrel.
Yeah. Barrell. So it's Barrel is the brand name.
Okay.
And it's the cask strength blend of straight bourbons. Batch number 29.
Okay, so it has to be batch number 29.
This is batch 29. And there's different batch, and the thing is, batch 30 is coming out soon. And there's good reviews apparently on batch 30, but batch 29 was really, really good. And then it hit this list.
Ooh.
And it's like it's flown off the shelves. And this is the one that Joe said, I might have a bottle in the back if you're interested. So this is what the Whiskey Advocate says about Barrel. It says initially soft, and it's initially soft on the nose, with water revealing sweet maltiness of a vanilla shake, as well as buttered toast, almonds, and melon.
Buttered toast.
Yes.
Nice.
Smooth, creamy palate shows honey, blueberry pie, vanilla ice cream, baking spices. More pie notes emerge, along with toasted walnuts, bitter coffee, chocolate, and a finish of cinnamon, sprinkled vanilla, custard, and baking spice on the end.
All of a sudden I want to have Thanksgiving dinner with
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's a hot one, even with water added to it. It's a hot one. Loaded well with ingrediented flavors. It's coming in at 94 points for the rating on it. 57.94 proof.
I was going to ask, what's the proof on that? That is a hot one.
57.94%. Whatever that maths out to, 114 proof, right? 115.
You said 59%?
50, 118. 57.94, so 117 point something. $90 ish. $90
for a gift. That's
Yeah.
actually reasonable.
$90, and it's a limited run.
Yeah.
And it's So Joe said he's got it. It was, I think it was like 95 on his shelf.
Anything under 100 is a reasonable gift.
And because I was thinking about getting it.
All right.
But I don't know if we want to do that one or not. So, but it's around. You can find it, but they're going fast because it's that batch 29. So that'll go right, and so it'll be batch 30 after that. So it'll be a slightly different beast.
Wayne just chimed in.
Oh yeah,
he said, "Hey fellas."
Hey Wayne, thanks for
Wayne.
joining the party, pal.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Go on.
No, it's good. It's good to have him. I love having him. The next one is going to appeal to our heritage a little bit. It's the Irishman. It's from the Irishman brand. It's a vintage cask from the Irishman Cask Strength. Vintage Irishman Vintage Cask. It's the 2021 release. It's their 2021 release, rated at 94 points again.
Wow. Is there an age statement on that one?
And this does not have an age statement on it. I know the age on the one that we got here.
Right.
Oh, and these other ones have yep. These other, so there's no age statement on the
Irishman,
on the barrel, and there's no age statement on the Irishman. Yeah. So, but honey and floral top notes combined with baked orange, ground hazelnut, baking spices, dunnage floor to produce a solid nose with plenty of promise.
Interesting.
Yep. And Johnny McCormick wrote this little review here on the Whiskey Advocate. Toffee spices and Dundee cake led to an imposing spicy peak, followed by flavors of malty drink, peppery spices, dark roasted grains, and Smucker's Magic Shell ice cream.
Smucker's. I haven't heard that word since I opened up my fridge last, but Smucker's.
Powerfully good with a long spicy send off. This oozes class and sophistication. I like Irish whiskeys.
Yes, as do I.
They're odd. To me, they're little, not the S word, but not that S word.
Right.
They're a little softer.
Yes.
To me, they're a little softer and hence smoother. But they're a little softer than the whiskeys and the hot whiskeys that we've.
That's why I'm a big advocate for the red breast.
Dove into of late.
That's why I'm a big advocate of the red breast, because it's got that softer feel to it.
I'm a big advocate of just breasts.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Nah, just it. That's it. That's me being 12 years old. He said breasts. Yeah, I'm 12. So yeah, it's the red breast is a perennial favorite. Not on this list though.
And you know what? It's an ever evolving list, right?
Yeah, it's ever evolving. Yes, it is. Belveni, up next.
Okay.
The Belveni 19-year-old.
Ooh, that's quite the age statement. Yes.
Edge of Burnhead Wood, 93-point rating on this fella, 48.7% alcohol in this guy. It's about a $300 bottle though.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's Belveni. So
yeah, I've had the I got the what did I got? I got the rum cask finish scotch.
What you drinking on Belveni with your
It's my journalism buddies,
yeah.
Bobby Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Bobby Hawthorne is just anybody who knows anything about journalism, student journalism education. You say Bobby Hawthorne, and he's a guy, and I get to sit and drink scotch with Bobby Hawthorne.
See,
those are like some of the most magical moments of my life, besides hanging out and drinking whiskeys with you. These are very magical moments. Don't underrate these. But those are magical moments. So the Belveni scotch at $300.
Wow.
I'm going to skip over ours because we'll come back to it. We'll circle back to this guy.
Okay.
One of the more reasonable numbers on here. 90. Oh, the Irishman was at $165.
Oh, okay.
The Belveni at $300. And then
as it gets closer to number one, do the prices go up?
No, they're not really in order. They're
okay. The
top two were 94 rated. The first two we read, and the rest of these are all 93 ratings. Okay. The next one, another one that I've heard about because during the week, I put on my Mr. Flanagan costume, And I go in and I teach high school.
Okay.
I'm an English teacher.
Yes, you are.
But I do the yearbook and newspaper and broadcast
and the journalism class,
journalism stuff. Yeah. And some English 12 and speech, and one guy, 40 classes. I know, it's insane. But this next one always intrigues me, and I want to get it. Writer's Tears.
Writer's Tears.
And it's an Irish whiskey. I'm 99% sure.
Well, I make a mental note.
Yeah, Writer's Tears, and it's this is the Cask Strength 2021 release.
Okay,
and it was rated 93 points, coming in at 54.2%. Alcohol is rich, it's malty, it's bursting with pot stilled. It's a pot stilled.
Okay,
I'm
like
dying.
Redbreast
We should just do we drink a lot. We gotta do this one. We gotta do this one. At
one point our livers were really exercised. No. But you know what? We've pulled back a little.
I think I still have a few pours on the Belvani.
Oh,
I got a pour. I got at least 1 or 2 pours on a bottle that it's probably too old now. I probably ruined it because I got it for a birthday 5 years ago, and I enjoyed it so much. I've been nursing it and doing it slow. So but I say, it was a birthday and so it was like one of my hoity-toity friends, and so they spent just like an obscene amount of money on this bottle, and so I've just nursed it, so it's like, but it's like 5 years old now. They say once the bottle is half full, you can, if the bottle's sealed, it'll stay,
right,
as long as the oxygen's not getting in. Once the bottle's half full, once you open it, you have, like, some people say 8 months, some people say 2 years.
Right.
But once the bottle's half full, you may want to decant it into something smaller, so there's less oxygen in there.
Right.
The oxidization. Oxidization.
All right.
Do. And we got all these bottles. I think I have 4 or 5 bottles sitting on the shelf that we've yet to crack, that I've bought here. There, we got a new riff. We got that bullet from Joe. Yep. We got
see Writer's Tears are going to end up there. Actually, Wayne commented.
I want to get the Writer's Tears.
Yes,
though. I do want it. What did Wayne comment about the Writer's Tears?
As an editor, I can attest that Writer's Tears are delicious.
See,
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I see what he did there. But is bursting the Writer's Tears coming in at 93 points there. The Cask Strength for 2021, bursting with pot stilled spices. Time enables the appearance of deeper layers of toffee, Brazil nut, cherry, espresso foam, and aromas of dark cigar wrappers. Aromas of dark cigar, mouth filling flavors of dark caramel nuts, orange clove, and milk chocolate. Yep, and of course
Brazil hazelnut and dark chocolate.
It's a firecracker of pot distilled spices. There's only 1,500 bottles made it to the U.S.
Okay.
So yeah, if you can find one of those Writer's Tears Cask Strength for 2021,
send it this way.
$140. I'd gladly pay you on Wednesday for a bottle of whiskey today. Yep. So there's wow.
All right, who's next?
Craig, I was trying to say the name. So yeah, how do you pronounce
that? Are you gonna use the pardon me while we Google?
Yeah, I'm seriously, here we go. So I don't want to say this Craigalachi. That's this is a commercial. So that's not gonna play, but we'll do that.
All right, here it comes.
It's a challenging whiskey that's hard to pronounce, but there's a trick. Think of it as a love story. Craig fell for Ella, who gave her the key to his heart. Craig, Ella, key. Craigellachie.
Oh,
try.
All right, Craigellachie. Got it.
Nailed it.
Craigellachie. Thank you.
Thanks.
Craigellachie. All right.
Craigellachie.
I was
Craig,
I had
Ella, key. Craigellachie.
Craigellachie. I so has a latchy in there.
Yeah.
So Craigellachie. All right, so it's obviously they've made a freaking video to explain how to say their damn name. this one's coming in for $300.
Okay,
the Craig Alecky.
All right.
And it's 24 years old though.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's the exceptional cask, single cask number. And there's it's like a phone number. Almost.
Wow. Okay.
777-9311. That's the time.
Yes, it is.
Is that the time or no? That's Prince. Time or Prince?
I think it's Prince.
It's Prince.
Yeah.
No,
wait.
That's the time. The time is 777-9311.
Yeah, that's
Prince is DMSMR.
Yes.
Dance, music, sex, romance. All right. Anyway, so this one is matured in single Oloroso sherry butts. It's fruity on the nose, notes of kiwi, juicy mango fruit. So this is a fruity blueberry pie, lemon bars. 52.2%, coming in at 93 points.
Not a spicy meatball, but it's got a lot of fruit feel to it.
Craig Alecky. Craig
Alecky.
Yes. Single cask strength whiskey there. The next one is that Blue Note, the other new one on the list.
Okay.
And it's a 17-year-old barrel proof straight bourbon. And these are the top 10 highest scoring whiskeys.
And none of these are blended from what we've gone through. None of these have been
barrels of blend.
Oh, my bad.
Barrel bourbons are, but this is
All right.
cask strength blend of straight bourbons.
Okay.
Barrel is a blend, but these other ones are straight up.
So the Blue Note.
17-year-old barrel number 12841, 93 points, 54%, $175 is the retail on that. Herb spice mint. You don't hear mint a lot.
No, you don't.
When you talk about the notes. Saddle leather. I always thought that was weird when someone mentioned saddle leather.
That's more of a Scotch feel
in a description, until I had a bourbon or a whiskey, that had that flavor, because my sister and I, we rode horses. She was an equestrian. She went to Findlay College as an equestrian major. So when we were kids, we'd go horseback riding a lot. She actually had horses there. Later in her life, she actually had ponies and boarded ponies, and there's just that smell, and there's almost a taste in the air when you're there, saddle leather in the barn and putting the saddle on and you're moving it, and it's that taste, and I know what that taste and that smell is, and I never hit it in a bourbon. I always thought it was weird people would say that about a whiskey, and then I was like, and I finally hit it in one. I was like, oh no, it is in there.
It is in there. Yeah.
How about that?
That's saddle leather.
I forget which one it was. It was something that we did together, but it was something we did on the show. So yeah, this one is darks, and it's pleasurable melding chocolates and herbs and cinnamon spices, and it has an oak influence, and it has a nice balance, according to our friends at the Whiskey Advocate.
Blue Note, huh?
Yep.
All right.
So next up is our friends Cameron Ardbeg. Yeah, Cameron is the national
Cameron
rep.
George.
Yep.
Yes.
We've talked to Cameron. We got to get Cameron back on and hang out with him and try some. And maybe, who knows, he might. I think he might like this one.
Okay.
The Ardbeg Scorch.
Oh, I think he knows exactly which one that
is. But you like the Scorch. You like the dragon. You like the Lord of the Rings. You like the dragons.
Yeah.
Gar. So it's Can
you do that again?
Gar.
No, don't do that again.
It was made public. It just made available to the general public in June. It's matured in heavily charred bourbon barrels. So you got Scotch being laid into heavily charred bourbon barrels,
like a char 4 or 5 maybe, or
I don't know, heavily, even more than that. So it's a scorching effect. So fragrant peat, malt, dried seashells, brine, like you get that on the sea salt, the Scotchy side of things, dockside wood on the nose. All that's on the nose.
Wow.
And you get charcoal iodine. But it's surprisingly balanced with peat, considering the whiskey's name.
Charcoal iodine.
Yeah, not charcoal, but charcoal iodine.
Okay.
All right.
I was gonna say what?
Charcoal, iodine. There's some hints of baked apple and bitter chocolate and cooked bananas, because everything's scorched in this thing. So everything's cooked something in this. But Ardbeg Scorch. Kill Mary Screw. I think I definitely want to screw that. I definitely want to try that.
Yeah, I want to
out and
screw around with
about.
that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not super in the super peaties. And Scotch makes me do bad stuff. So I keep my trousers on, generally speaking. But man, oh man. John Paul Methuna is the next one up. John Paul Methuna. Shuttlepringo. I don't know. So, oh no, it's Paul John.
Paul
Methuna.
John?
My dyslexia boy over here.
I
It's
was
Paul
like,
Paul John Methuna.
It's not Jean Paul?
No, it's not John Paul. It's
No?
Paul John
All right.
Methuna. See how we are, and we haven't even started drinking yet. It's named after the third zodiac sign of Indian astrology.
Paul John.
Yep.
All right.
Paul John Methuna. But of course, you knew that, right? The nose has red cherry laces. Ooh, what's that?
Red cherry laces.
Yeah, in the nose, right? Ground pepper, ground black pepper, hints of ginger, resin, toffee, and apple. So yeah, only 3,000 bottles were available in the U.S., and that's coming in. That's another pricey one at $300. 58%. One more from one more to do, and that's our boy.
Is this one?
Bib and Tucker. Bib and Tucker, 6-year-old small batch bourbon. Now, here's the thing that Joe told me, because I picked this guy up at Kiko's, and this is just the regular one. It can be anywhere from 6 to 8.
6 to 8 year age.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the 6-year one.
It's 6, but what is in there?
It could be 8. Almost.
Yeah. Some of it's 7 years, some of it's 8 years.
Huh.
So, but to put it on the bottle, it's whatever the youngest thing in there is.
Gotcha.
So it's no younger than 6 years old. But he said there's a fair amount of 7-year and 8-year that go into this small batch.
Wow.
When they do this, is batch number 20. It says number 22.
24 on this one.
24 on there.
Yep.
So, and this is the one. This isn't a store pick or anything. This is the one you get off the shelf.
Okay.
So yeah. So I'm not gonna read the tasting notes on this. Let's just taste it.
You want to pop it?
You could pop the top on that.
That's what. Never mind.
Hey, there it is. There it is. I didn't bring glasses, so we got plastic to drink out of today. But
you just want to hit the bottle?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Oh, that's not a fun little color. That's something. Well,
yeah, but I love the packaging on it. Right, it's got this old timey, bumpy raised glass. It's got a Wild West look to it, and the stopper is just it's a cork, just a raw cork.
Yeah.
It
looks like
there's no extra shenanigans on the cork. It's just in there, and it looks like an old timey
jug
medicine bottle.
Oh, you know
snake
what?
bite medicine.
You're not wrong. This is what Coke originally started in.
Right. Well, there you are. Hey, Cindy George chimed in too. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for joining the party. Yeah, people are like, dude, when you're going to taste whiskey, you got to tell me. I'm like, we do it like every week. So it's like,
pay attention.
Well, where were we the last time we were at someplace ridiculous with just the wall of bourbon behind us?
It wasn't
Tony's. No, not Tony's. We did another one after that. It wasn't a wall of whiskey. It was in the back room in that private room.
Oh, yes.
When we did the
private room.
Yeah, the private room. Okay. Ooh, all right.
All right, so I'm nosing this.
So all of a sudden, both of us are like,
I want to hear Jamie make more of those noises. All right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, you were looking at Bib and Tucker. Do you know anything about Bib and Tucker? You can share
Bib and
with
Tucker is the company is the 35 Maple Street Spirits.
Okay.
It does the Bib and Tucker, and it's actually sourced in rumored to be from Dickel. That's where the distillery is.
Okay.
That's where it's rumored to be sourced from.
All right.
But they released in 2014, so they've been around for a few years.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's aged 6 years. Know that while like you said, could be 6, could be
right, could be 8. More.
They average around 7.5.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what. Yeah. So it's like you said, it's like there's some 8 years in here. So,
but
it's a nice mixture.
The mash bill for those that are interested in the mash bill of bourbons and what have you. So this is 70% corn mash bill, 26% rye, and 4% malted barley.
Okay.
So that's
and I think you have at least 15% more bourbon in your glass than I do.
Oh, really?
I'm teasing.
Come on. I gave you a healthy pour.
Like we don't have a bottle here, so like I'm crying about.
But
that.
the color on it, they don't really talk. They talk about the color and what have you.
Okay.
But they actually gave this color a name.
Oh,
straw.
Straw.
It's kind of like a straw color.
Okay.
Like a wet straw, almost, if you will.
All right.
But as far as what it would go
some
for,
nice reds in it.
Yeah. The legs aren't pretty nice. But as far as a price point on the MSRP, you're looking at about $55 for this bottle of Bourbon Tucker.
Yeah, we got it just under that. Yep. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
it smells awesome. It
smells
amazing.
the Michigan because it's different. There's different taxes in different parts of the country. Now I forget what I paid for it. I don't know. I get into Keiko's and I get in trouble because he's just, oh, you should try this, and I just take it, and then they ring it up. I'm like, oh crap.
You know what this nose reminds me of?
What?
This nose reminds me of Detroit City Distillery, their bourbon.
Okay.
Because it was a younger bourbon.
The Butcher Cut, yeah.
Yeah. So because that was a younger bourbon, and it had a really like a young smell to it, if you will. This has kind of got a young smell to it on the nose. Getting
a little, not much, but a little floral.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, but not sugary sweet. Almost like maybe like a honey. Maybe like
trying to smell out of this large plastic glass.
I know. Yeah, crappy
with my hand sanitized hands.
Crappy glasses today. I apologize. I faux pas. I didn't bring
come on. You're busy. I'm busy. What do you want? But I'm about ready to dive in.
I am. I'm going.
Here we go. Okay. You've had Blanton's. Jamie?
I have.
I've had Blanton's as well.
Because Joe purports this to be a challenger.
To Blanton's.
Mm-hmm.
I would drink this over Blanton's.
Oh.
I didn't mind the Blanton's.
Mm-hmm.
It was a novelty. Everyone's got to have a Blanton's.
Yeah. That Japanese one was crazy.
You got to get the horses from the, But in all honesty, this I can see where Joe's coming from, and could rival Blanton's in that regard.
It's not quite honey,
no,
but it's on the nose. It's not sugary. It's not sweet. It's not caramel. It's not vanilla.
No,
but it's honey. It's honey-ish.
Yeah, but there's
a honey caramel.
There's a spice to this.
Yeah. Oh, did I just break the microphone? I'm sorry.
No, you did not. At least I didn't hear it.
Okay.
But there's a bit of a spice to this, a warmth, and it's got that rye spice feeling to it.
Yeah.
Because it's got on the mash bill, it's 26% rye, so that rye does come out on the palate, and it just kind of lingers.
And this is a Tennessee boy.
Yes.
So this is out of Tennessee. Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Now I want to hear that song. So what are you getting on the palate, on your palate? What are you getting on the? I got to sip again. What are you getting on the
palate? So I'm getting that spice, that rye feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's almost a earthy feel, like grass, almost like an earthy feel.
Okay.
On the palate. It's just lingering.
The first sip, that wasn't my first sip of anything. I swear it was my first sip of anything today. I was teaching, so it probably was the first sip. We had professional development the other day, and so it was election day, and so the kids all get the day off because that's a lot of times the polling places are in school, so they give the kids a day off. But then, lucky us teachers, we get to have teacher meetings all day, and so we're going to lunch. I passed one by the room. This one guy that I really like, and I go in, and he's talking to two people. I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna give the joke anyway. And so I go in. I'm like, all right, heading out to lunch. Is there anything that says we have to be sober when we get back? And they all just because he's a bourbon guy too, and so he knew exactly what I was talking about. And everybody else just laughed at me. Oh, Jamie's so whimsical and he says funny things. It's like, no, Jamie was serious and kind of half inviting Matt to come have a pint with me because those meetings on Tuesday were brutal. So, but this was my first sip. So I told you that story to tell you this story. My first sip here, I was getting a little alcohol. But then again, like I said, it was my very, very first sip. Because it's
lingered for a while.
No, it's nice. It's hanging out. It's
it's turning into cinnamon.
About 46% on this, so it's not as fiery as some of these other ones on this list here from the Whiskey Advocate. So 92 proof. I thought I thought it was going to be higher than that. Yeah. So
because the warmth that hits you, that rye, that's where you're thinking it's really gonna be spicier or be a higher proof, but it's just hanging around and it's turning into like a red cinnamon candy almost.
Here's what I'm reading the tasting notes off of Whiskey Advocate.
Okay,
marmalade.
Marmalade.
That's the honey, not honey I was getting.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm getting that marmalade sweetness. That's what I was smelling.
All right.
But I don't do marmalade.
Neither do I.
And so that's I don't have a frame of reference of like, oh, that's marmalade. And that's what a lot of the experts say. Go to the grocery store, stick your nose in things, right?
And get kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tried that at Victoria's Secret too.
Really?
Kicked right out. No, I didn't.
Did you try the lace on?
Thought about it.
Did you put the lace on?
I did.
All right.
A little bit.
As long as you're honest about it.
And in the taste, that's interesting. In the tasting notes, it says dark chocolate. Or no, in the tasting note, it's a sugared espresso. And I'm getting that. I'm because there was a sugared. It wasn't sugar and it wasn't caramel sugar. I was getting a sugared something. And I like how David Fleming here in Whiskey Advocate called it sugared espresso. I like that, and it's there's a coffee ice cream finish with dark chocolate.
It's really interesting. Everything that you're going through with the Whiskey Advocate. Some of the things I'm seeing on breakingbourbon.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm getting a lot of the information about the mash bill and what have you.
Right.
They're not as articulate with their words as Whiskey Advocate is.
Yeah.
They really aren't. It's like they use mouthfeel and they're using marmalade.
Golden raisins.
Yeah.
As we said, there's fruits, one of which would be like golden raisins and sugared espresso. I'm getting the that sugared, and again, it's not sweet.
It's like licorice almost,
but sugared. No, not licorice, but sugared espresso. So yeah, there's like almost like a slight. Not bitter isn't quite the right, and bite isn't the quite word, but I guess a sugared bite.
Right.
And sipped it a couple times. I'm not getting that hard alcohol.
Right. I'm not getting that
from that first sip because it was like my first sip of anything today. Really. Really.
As I said, I've had
a bottle of cough syrup during third block, but there, there's that.
All right, kids, here we go. Listen up.
Oh my God.
We're gonna watch a movie.
We're watching a movie.
And we're gonna have a good time.
So I go, we're here in Metro Detroit, and there's a band from the 90s called Goober and the Peas.
Oh, okay.
There was a big Pig and Whiskey. There was a big street fair in downtown Ferndale, just north of Detroit. It was on 9 Mile. People are familiar with 8 Mile,
right?
And the M.
Yep.
It's 9 Mile, where actually Eminem's studio, where he recorded all that stuff, was 54 Sound is on 9 Mile over there in. I think it's Hazel Park over by the time where that studio is. But anyhow, we digress even further. Goober and the Peas were playing at the Pig and Whiskey. It was a fun little, whiskey and barbecue stands.
Barbecue
everywhere.
And whiskey, man. Nothing
but Dan, the lead singer from Goober and the Peas, was, I know Dan for years. And Jack White of the White Stripes, and just of all kind of rock on tours and just all kinds of musical fame. There's like 2 or 3 other bands that he was created in part of. But Jack White, White Stripes, rock on tours, et al. He was in Goober and the Peas. He was a drummer in Goober and the Peas. Oh my God, Jack White was the Goober. Yeah, he was before he left and got Meg and then did the White Stripe thing. Yeah, he was in Goober and the Peas.
He was the drummer for Goober.
Yeah. So Goober and the Peas played at the Pig and Whiskey. We were there Saturday night, and I met my friends Tracy and Kathy. And Sib, I don't know why I led into this, but there's what we're drinking out of. And Kathy had a flask, and she had a little metal flask. Kathy didn't have a flask. She had a bottle of hand sanitizer and a bottle of a hand lotion. Right. It's like, hair gel or hand lotion. And she had cleaned it out thoroughly, and she had bourbon in that. And that was her flask. Yeah. She goes, care for a squirt? So we were drinking bourbon out of plastic with Goober and the Peas. It was very, very fitting.
That's wild.
I don't know why I went down that rabbit hole. There was a reason for that story, and it really left me.
Wow, you're barely halfway into
I may have to re-listen to the show and figure out why I started telling that story. But anyway, well, Jack White, Detroit, Goober and the Peas.
All right.
Bourbon, pig and whiskey. I don't know where
it was.
There's a story there somewhere.
It was Saturday. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So, but that's but drinking bourbon out of I love the container. I don't know why I got down that story, but she drinking out of the hand lotion,
right
thing, and then she was worried that I'm gonna get in trouble. It's like, this is an open air street fair.
It's a whiskey open air.
Yeah, it's pig and whiskey. They're selling drinks everywhere. Yes. I think you'll be okay. She's like, no, I have the worst luck ever. She goes, I'll get a ticket.
Well, if you walk up to one of the ambassadors and say, hey, can you fill up my hand sanitizer thing? You might get in trouble for that. You might get in trouble for that. Yeah.
So, Bib and Tucker, again, thank you, Joe Keikos, for suggesting this. Oh, and like I said, this came out on this list.
Mm-hmm.
And his representative said, his distributor came in, I think it was a woman, and she said, oh yeah, you heard that Bib and Tucker is on that list. And she's like, oh my God, wait, who am I talking to? She goes, you've been an advocate of this forever. He's like, yeah, he goes, they move cases of the Bib and Tucker out of there. He advocates for it.
Yes.
You're going to pour some more? I was going to ask you to. Thank you, Sue. May I have another?
May I? Wait. I got to do take two. There it is.
As that first pop is always the best. Yeah, if you would be so kind.
You got a whole nother show to do.
Oh yeah, Detroit City of Champions is up next.
Yes, it is.
It is.
So
on that.
So Jamie, with the Bib and Tucker, I know you married it for the show tonight, but right. if you didn't have to,
it had been something I had been looking at because Joe advocates for it so hard,
and you trust his judgment.
Yeah. So without a doubt, it's something that was on my list. And
kill, marry, screw.
I'd marry it if when this bottle's empty. I'd like to see another one on my shelf.
There it is.
I'd actually kind of like to do a store pick next time. Do one of his store. I'll get one of his store picks next time. Okay. They're usually a couple bucks more. They're usually 10 or 20 bucks more than this. This is coming in at $46, and this was the most affordable bottle on that list of the 10 highest scoring whiskeys for the fall buying guide 2021 from Whiskey Advocate that we were prattling on about. This was the most affordable. I want to say this was the lowest price, 300, 165, 120, 370. Yeah. So this was the most affordable bottle on that list.
46 MSRP.
46. Yeah, I don't know what I paid for it at Joe's, but
well, according
that's in the ballpark.
Yeah. What I had shared was around 55. So,
right.
So, anyways, on the finish of this, I'll tell you that it's, as I dived into the second one, the second pour, it actually gets a bit smoother. I said the S word.
Yep.
But it does. It lingers around that much better.
After tax, $52.
Oh, there you go. But it does hang around. It sits on the palate.
Yeah.
And it's got that red candy cinnamon feel.
Okay.
As it sits on my palate.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
There's not a zip, but a little bit of
it's just
something.
It's just lingering.
It's hanging out.
Yep.
I'm enjoying it. So I hope people have enjoyed hanging out with us.
Yeah.
If you have and you've made it this far, God love you. And make sure you like, comment, leave a follow, subscribe, collect.
Yeah, whatever you have to do to get a notification that, hey, we are live and or an episode just dropped.
That's it. So what I want to do is it's Facebook. We're on the Facebook, and there's a website. Those will get better all the time.
mancavehappyhour.com.
Like the ever-evolving Man Cave studios here at the Podcast Detroit. The Man Cave suite here at the Podcast Detroit. Podcast Your Voice studios.
Yeah, habits are amazing, aren't
they? That's kicked in after the bourbon.
There it is.
But
here's another thing.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you.
Here's another thought. If you know of anybody that is looking to represent themselves or their brand, not just bourbon, but if there's a company that you feel would actually benefit from sitting down with us,
sure,
and being a part of the Man Cave, you know what? Sit down, talk to us. We'd love to have that chat. And how can we be a better advocate for that company to represent their brand?
Right on. Yeah. So we like getting inside people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
We like going. I like to be in the room where it happens. We've had so much fun going to the Detroit City Distillery.
Yeah.
Motor City Gas, out in Lansing.
God, yeah, we've been all over the state of Michigan.
Yeah, there was
we've been all over the world. We've been to Scotland. We've been to Australia. We've been to Israel. But the
Man Cave Network. Wayne says the Man Cave Network.
Yes, it is.
A little bit. But
thanks, Wayne.
Yeah. So it's we like going out and being in places. So if there's someplace you'd like us to be, we got microphones. We'll come set up in your shop.
A couple of middle-aged guys with 2 microphones. What could go wrong?
We'll bring even extras, and you can talk with us. I was thinking about the Man Cave, and we talk about podcasts, and we help facilitate people podcasting. We've helped coach people through launching podcasts, and if anybody wants to podcast their voice, we'd be happy to help you do that as well. Help you launch it. But I was thinking back to, and we advise people your podcast will change over time.
Yes.
And from our first episode to what we're doing now, it is slightly different. But I look back at that first episode, and that was just a freaking riot.
It was.
Because I had this idea of what I wanted to do with the Man Cave. And we went, and our buddy Brian was there, and we went with a good friend of the show.
Well, we were Godfathers
at the Godfathers.
Yep.
And a lot of people came out and hung out with us while we did it, and it was a show.
Yes.
And I want to do more of those because it was so much bloody fun, because we played games, and we played Brian and I did a show called
we
Game
played
Show
Battleship on our first episode, and they sunk the Battleship during the show.
I know.
And I believe it was Mr. Aaron Thompson that called it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun. So I want to. That was like so much fun. I love where the Man Cave is now.
Yeah.
But that first one was just like it just cracks me up.
If we can have Pat come in, and open up the show for us live,
right?
Doing his Man Cave.
I want to do the Pat Akerley. Thank you for writing our Man Cave theme song. We appreciate you.
I would love to do a live show in front of folks that are enjoying a spirit with us.
I want to, because I want to do like a tasting, get something new and do a tasting with people. We've done that with 3 Chord. We've done that with a couple of spirits, and done these tastings. So
we got it. We've got our folks. We'll reach out to you.
Yeah.
And we'd love to put together an event.
So we'll do it again real soon. Thanks for joining us again. I don't know. Just thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Matt. And
the ever evolving Man Cave.
That's it. Cheers.
Cheers.